priesthood, that trial might be made who should be priest, and that whose sacrifice the Most High was best pleased with might be ordained to that function.
See, so it was what was happening was Aaron and his sons, of course, were the priesthood, but it was another man named Korah who felt like he should have been the high priest. And it says that Moses called for those that contended about the priesthood. So there was some contention that was going on about the priesthood. And it says that trial might be made of maybe made who should be priests. Let's see what that trial is. Go ahead.
There attended 250 men who indeed were honored by people, not only account of the power of their ancestors, but also on account of their own, in which they excelled the others. Aaron also and Korah came forth, and they all offered incense and others censers of theirs which they brought with them before the tabernacle. Hereupon so great a fire shone out, as no one ever saw in any that is made by hand of man, neither is those eruptions out of the earth that they are caused by subterraneous burning, nor is such fires as arise of their own according to the woods, when the agitation is caused by the trees rubbing one against another.
See that? It was so when Aaron and Korah came forth, there was a fire in front of the tabernacle like no man had ever seen before. That not even from the volcanoes from underneath the earth, not that no man had ever made with hands, not even a wildfire that was caused when the trees rub against each other. Go ahead.
But this fire was very bright and had a terrible flame, such as it kindled at the command of God,
See that? It kindled at the command of the Most High. Go ahead.
by whose eruptions on them all company of Korah himself were destroyed.
All the company of Korah and himself were destroyed. Go ahead.
And this so entirely that they were very bodies left, no remain behind them. Aaron alone was preserved.
Aaron was preserved. Aaron went through the fire with Korah. Korah and all the people all his company that were with him were destroyed. They were consumed by the fire, that nothing remained behind. But Aaron alone was preserved. And go ahead.
And not at all hurt by the fire,
And not at all hurt by the fire. Go ahead.
because it was the Most High that set the fire to burn those only who ought to be
To
burned.
burn those only who ought to be burned. Go ahead.
Hereupon Moses, after these men were destroyed, was desirous that the memory of this judgment might be delivered down to what's that?
Posterity.
Posterity, and the future ages might be acquired with it.
It says that that it might be handed down that it said Moses, after these men were destroyed, was desirous that the memory of this judgment, of that whole little that judgment, see that judgment, that fire, that was judgment. That when Korah was consumed and Aaron was preserved, that it might be delivered down, and that future ages might be acquainted with it. Go ahead.
And so he commanded Eleazar the son of Aaron to put their censers near the brazen altar, that they might be a memorial to prosperity of what these men suffered. For supposing the power of the Most High might be eluded, and thus Aaron was now no longer esteemed to have the priesthood by favor of Moses, but by public judgment of the Most High.
See that? So it wasn't Moses that had set Aaron up for the priesthood, but it was the judgment of the Most High. The fact that he was not consumed by that flame, that he was not hurt at all by that terrible fire, that no man had ever seen anything like it. Go ahead.
And thus he and his children peaceably enjoyed that honor afterwards.
That's how Aaron and his sons were chosen for the priesthood, because they had a trial by fire. Korah, who felt like that Aaron shouldn't have been high priest, he was consumed by the fire. But Aaron, who came out the fire without even being touched, it says that the Most High sent the fire, and that only those who ought to be burned were burned. You see that? How the unrighteous and the righteous are going to go through the same fire, literal fire. and those who ought to be consumed, which of course we know are unrighteous, and those who are righteous are going to be refined. So you got to understand that it's about that the whole fire thing is about being righteous and being unrighteous, but it's about enduring to the end. Go back into Esdras chapter 13, and second Esdras chapter 13, and start at verse 16. It's still the same thing in that same chapter about what happened with these unrighteous men who were burned up.
Second Esdras 13 and 16. For as I conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind.
See that? Woe unto them that should be left in those days, the last days, but much more woe unto them that are not left behind, unto them that don't see the last days. Keep reading.
But they that were not left were in heaviness.
See that? They that were not left behind, or who passed away before the end, the last days, they were in heaviness. What does that heaviness mean? Go to hold your finger right there and go to 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 6.
You said 1 and 6?
1 and 6.
1 Peter 1 and 6. Wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness, through manifold temptations.
See that? If need be, ye are in heaviness. What is the heaviness? The manifold temptations. It's saying that wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations. It's because the people are going through these different these are the heaviness is the different temptations that men go through. But you rejoice because you come through the temptation. But that's what that heaviness is that's spoken of in 2nd Esdras 13 and 17. Go back to 2nd Esdras and start and keep reading from 18.
2nd Esdras 13 and 18. Now understand I the things that are laid up in the latter days.
See that? In the latter days. See, understand how the things that are laid up in the latter days. Those were the people who are left behind. The people who are left behind are the people that are left in the latter days that are going to be still in the earth, and to them that are not left behind. So keep reading.
Which shall happen unto them.
Which shall happen unto them that are not left behind, the ones that are in heaviness, and who else?
And to those that are left behind.
And to those that are left behind to see the latter days. Keep reading.
Therefore are they come into great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams are declared.
So the ones that are left behind are going to come into great perils and many necessities. There's going to be a lot of things are going to happen in these latter days as we seeing what's going on. The pretty much the contamination of food and water, the what's going on with this oil spill. It's
volcanoes, sinkholes.
I mean, we can spend the whole day talking about what's going on now in these latter times. But that's these they shall come into great perils and many necessities. Now read verse 20.
Yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come into these things.
It's easier for him, talking about those that are left behind, that is in danger. Because the first thing you do when you see danger coming is what? You start praying, oh God, oh Lord, please help. Oh God, oh Lord, you know what I mean? So once you see the danger, if you left to these last days to see the things that's transpiring, and you see danger coming to pass, it's going to be easier for you to accept the Lord and to turn to the Lord, because you see these prophecies actually coming to pass that's spoken of in the Bible. But the ones who were not left behind, they didn't see these things. It's much more difficult for them because they didn't have the chance to see these prophecies transpire. Go ahead, keep reading.
Yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not to see the things that happen in the last days.
See that? It's easier for him than the ones who pass away out of the world and not see the things that happen to the last days. So we have to count that as actually a blessing. The fact that we actually still here to see these things come to pass. We're enduring to the end. We have to endure to the end. That's what it's all. That's what it's all about. Maintain that righteousness even unto the end. Go to one last scripture, Matthew 24 and 13. Because it's going to be that same fire that we all going to go through. Some going to be refined and some going to be consumed, like we saw with the story of Aaron and Korah, and also the story. It's a story in but believe in Daniel the 3rd chapter when they talk about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego when they went through into the fiery furnace and weren't even hurt by the flame. But read that verse 13.
Matthew 24 and 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
He that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. That's what it's all about. It's all about, regardless of, we got brothers out here that's teaching that we shouldn't flee. We got brothers that's teaching that we should flee. We got brothers that's teaching, it's all different sources of lessons and doctrines that's being out there. But it's all about being righteous. It don't matter if you in the land of Africa. It don't matter if you on the continent of Asia. It don't matter if you in North America. If you're not being righteous, you're going to be consumed by the fire, period. And the same goes for those who are being righteous. If you uphold the law, statutes, and the commandments, no matter what land that you are on, no matter where your feet are at, no matter where your home is, it doesn't matter. If you maintain it and you holding on and you keeping the law and you following all the statutes that are set up for our people, you're gonna be refined when it's time to go through the fire. It's all about righteousness. Who care? It's not about any of these other things. Righteousness is key, so that we can endure to the end. And with that, that's pretty much the close of it. If anybody have any questions, I'm gonna go ahead.
And that definitely means it wasn't grace in not one of them scriptures, even though we do have grace, but people is using that as an excuse to keep sinning. So he know your thoughts. So we got to cut that mess out.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna say shalom. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all be safe. Maintain. Blessings.
Shalom.
Shalom.